Hey everybody, what's up? Ray here again, and we are back in my medieval Minecraft world of Merath, specifically in my city of Linshire. And as I mentioned in the last episode, this time I have worked mainly outside of the city, specifically over there in the west. I have done a lot of terraforming, which I will show you in a second, because I've also built one building in the city and I want to show you that first, so that you'll get that done and then we can talk about the terrain. So the building that I've built is this one. By itself it's not really anything special. I don't even know what sort of profession this person would have. But this building is actually really nice in terms of position because it finishes up a bunch of things. First of all, it finishes up this this hole here, like if you follow this path around, then this really finishes up all the way to the edge of this like sort of gated community, right? This is what I'm planning here. Remember from like 2 episodes or so back? You remember that, right? And this really finishes up this side of the street all the way up to the gated community here. But more importantly, it also mostly finishes up this swamp backyard thing here. Before, like these buildings existed, but over here it was still just completely open, so before it didn't really get the atmosphere across that I was going for, obviously because it wasn't finished. But now with this building done, you can see that now you really have this feeling of like this, you know, dirty swamp thing in the backside, in the backyard, being surrounded by all of these high building walls, and that's really what I was going for. Now at this point there's only that building left. This is one of the buildings from the gated community, which is the main reason why I haven't finished it yet, is because I want to get a bit of a special sort of style elements into there, right? Not too special, this is not like the noble area, that would be somewhere different, but it should be a bit different from the rest of the city because it is this sort of like wealthy merchant kinda gated community thing. It should have something special to it, and I didn't come up with that yet, so I didn't finish these buildings yet, and that creates this tiny little gap. But you know, apart from this little sliver here, this backyard swamp thing is now completely finished, which is really nice, and I really love it. I like how it turned out, how it is kinda unpleasant to be here, which is exactly what I want, right? So that's pretty nice, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's really all there is to say about this building. Again, the building itself isn't too special. One special thing about this is maybe that it actually has like 2 high points. All of the other buildings have like this singular high point. You can see this is like 2 buildings connected with a bridge, right? And every building usually has this singular high point. This building is the first one that I built that has like 2 high points with a little like trough in the middle, and yeah, a bit of a special like overall structure, but apart from that it's really just a random building. And the most special thing about it is the location, which finishes up the swamp backyard thing. You'll also notice that there's these gaps here, this one here, and jumping over the swamp, this gap here. I still need to finish these. This will maybe be some sort of storage areas or something, I don't quite know yet. So I definitely need to finish these, but once they are done, like this entire area is mostly finished, which is great. So with that said, let's finally talk about terrain, shall we? Alright, here we are at the western city gate, which I still need to redesign, I know. But over there you can see like some of the inner city planning works that I've done. So that's the inside of the city, this is the outside of the city, and that lake you already know. This has existed for quite a while, and up until just behind the lake is what I've already created, like what already existed before. And everything I built here is new. So let's talk about that. This main street here that comes out of the gate is planned to, you know, go past the lake there and then mow along, and you know, you can see all of the planning work that I've done here. And the main street will basically go west like this, and it will reach all the way to a neighboring city called West Point, for reasons that you will find out at some point. But that city is called West Point, and this road will lead to it. But there will be lots of villages and stuff in between the 2 main cities here. So you can see this is mostly plains again. I have tried to do a little more like interesting height variation terrains more than I did in the inside of the city, which I should have done on the inside of the city before, but I just didn't. I've learned my lesson, I suppose. And now this it is still plains of course, but it has a lot more height variation, which makes it look quite a bit more interesting. And you can imagine, once I put like forests and fields here, this will look pretty cool, I think. So there's this river. There are actually two rivers. One is over there, I'll show you in a second. But this is a smaller river that will, it comes up from there and it flows into the swamp over there. Keep in mind, south there is the swamp. And this river flows from this side. You can see it splits here. Oh, well, you know, according to flow direction, these two rivers merge here. So we have that river coming in and that river coming in. They are merging right here and then they go to the swamp. You can see this road here, which goes over the river here. This will move all the way there and connect up with the road that comes out of the northern gate of the city, which is somewhere way over here. You can see this is like quite the distance here. And all the way over there somewhere, I didn't even mark it yet, but somewhere over here we'll have the northern gate, and then that street that you just saw will connect up with the street here, and it will go like this and then cross this river as well, of course, and then it will connect up over here. There it is. So these rivers are obviously not finished. They will continue on into the inland once I get to actually do that, but that will take quite a while because I want to focus on moving further west, because I want to get to that point where West Point is, the other city, which is like 3,000-4,000 blocks away. I don't quite remember right now, but it's very far away and I want to get there, and there's lots of stuff coming. There's like a mountain range and all sorts of interesting stuff there, which I haven't done yet, by the way, which is still to come, but I want to focus on that, so I won't really move inland to the north here that much, in the near future at least. But yeah, we have this river here, and I want to show you one interesting bit about it, and that is this little bit here, where you can see, first of all, we have these rapids here, but we also have these caves. So there's this one cave here that just leads into this sort of cave system. And on the other side there is this cave, which you can see, I have the sign here marking that this will be an underwater cave. So these caves actually were generated, right? One of the benefits of having a, you know, not a flat world but a generated world is that you run on these generated things. And sometimes, you know, you just decide to keep them, and that's exactly what I did here. So I decided to keep these caves here. I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with this cave here, this one, the dry cave. Not entirely sure what I'll do with it, but I want to put something in there. But with this cave, with the underwater cave, there I very much know what I want to do. This stretches along quite a bit down, and like this will be completely underwater, right? And at the moment it's rather narrow, but I want to widen it, and I want to, you know, put like an underwater sort of ecosystem in there with like maybe like glowing mushroom-like or glowing underwater plant, well, plants, you know, all that kind of stuff, vegetation and stuff like that. Create this sort of fantasy underwater cave, which I think will be really cool when I get that done. And that's the plan there, which I will do very soon, I think, because I'm really hyped to do that. Apart from that, like this cave system actually stretches under this entire area. You can see there are several places where it surfaces, and I'm not sure if I want to put like a mine thing in there or just keep it a natural cave and, you know, improve it in that way. Not quite sure. At the moment they are just the generated caves and they definitely need improvement, but I'm not entirely sure in what way exactly. Again, might be like a man-made cave, like mines sort of thing, or it might just be natural caves. I'm not entirely sure, but with the water cave, the second one here, the underwater cave, that's definitely gonna be some sort of fantasy underwater cave thing. Maybe the glowing plants there are things that people harvest because they are rather valuable or something. I don't know. It's gotta be some world building that I gotta do. So with that said, that's this river. you can see over here, this green mark here will be a forest. This is just a very small forest, really. There will be a lot more forests around, but this is one place where I definitely want a forest, because I mainly want this forest to block the view of the city. Like, it's outside of render distance at the moment anyway, but, you know, you can see that the gate is actually loading there, and I don't really want people to see it at this point. So I want this this forest here to block the view, and you move around the forest, and then only when you come around here do you actually see the gate. I kind of like that idea, so I'm going with that. Over here, this red point is marking a little village. There will be just this little riverside village here. Nothing special, but you know, I do want to build villages. This is why I'm doing all of this terraforming, right? I want to do villages and farms. Again, farms will of course be spread across the entire terrain here. Now moving along, you can see there are some of these hills here as well. These will probably be forested, or maybe not, we'll see. Yeah, moving over, we can see the second river. The second river is quite a bit bigger, and it's not nearly as far done as the first river. You can see it's really just this small stretch here that's properly done. The terrain, the terraforming stretches quite a bit further, but this is not finished, obviously. So the finished part is just this little bit here. And this actually, like while the small river over there will basically empty into the swamp and then just fizzle out into the swamp sort of thing. This river will not. This river, you can see, actually basically carves itself through the swamp, and it will merge all the way down south here somewhere. See, distances, right? This world is massive. But yeah, this is the bay that I've shown you in the last episode, I think, which I still didn't fix the design of, but this river will basically flow into this bay through the swamp and then empty into the ocean right here. And this river is quite a bit larger. It's still not massive like the Lin River in Linshire, as well as the river, the other river, unnamed river that the Lin River flows into, is even larger. Both of those rivers are larger than this one, but this one is still larger than the small one that I've done over there. And yeah, it will actually flow quite a bit. I've already planned where it will go, and it will go quite a bit, and provide a nice river for all of the lands up there, and it will flow into a mountain range up north, northwest, northeast, east, cardinal directions and all. Over here you can see another marker for another village. This will again be a riverside village. Maybe they'll have a pier or two into the river, like a fishing pier or something, maybe with like small river boats. The other river is really too small to really have any meaningful boat in there or something, but this river does have enough width to actually like reasonably support like small narrow river boats, right? So I maybe do that. I think that's an interesting idea. And then you can see this is the edge of what I've finished. There is more terrain here which I haven't 100% finished. You can see this terrain is like the relief is mostly finished. I just didn't put any overlay over it because all of the flat plane around it will be swamp, of course. Like this will be swamp, and then it will stretch around. And I just it would have been kind of useless to just have this splotch of overlay here in the middle. Even though I could have done it, but you know, I can't really do the edge until I've done the terraforming for the swamp, which again I've completely skipped. So yeah, swamp terraforming is something that I need to do in the future as well. And then I will be able to also put an overlay over this, and I will be able to extend westwards here. And you know, somewhere over there on the south will be the beginning of that mountain range that I just mentioned. It will go like northwest here like this, and then will turn west. And West Point will actually be like situated on top of this mountain range, where the mountain range reaches back into the ocean. So that will be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to starting with that city as well, because like that city is not nearly as big as Linshire, but it has a very interesting design aspect to it, which I'm really looking forward to actually building. So yeah, that's this terraforming. and I think that's all I have to say. Again, this is lots of planning as well, of course, both in the finished parts with the planning of the roads and planning of villages and stuff, and also a lot of planning well beyond what I've actually terraformed right now. So in the next couple of episodes you will see a lot more terraforming. I will not only do terraforming, like not exclusively. I definitely am very into you know, buildings in the city as well again, which is great. So I will do that again as well, of course, like more than just a single building. But yeah, I will do a lot of terraforming on the side as well to get this done, because like I'm super hyped for this. And that is the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you like my content, and see you next time. Goodbye.